son! What a hit!
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of View from the Cop. Today I'll be doing a post-match analysis to Spurs versus Liverpool, and yes, as you can see, I'm alone today. My buddy Resh is not with me. Let's just say he had too much of a good weekend and lost his voice in the rush, which is why we're also a day late with this video, hoping he could recover, but unfortunately he didn't. So it's just going to be me handling the post-match for today. So where do we start? An interesting game to say the least, actually. Overall, if I had to give my opinion on it, I think it was two teams who were clearly suffering the effects of an international break, and the team that suffered the less sort of won the game, basically. Liverpool in that regard. Their players just seemed that slight bit sharper, that slight bit better than Spurs. Let's face it, Spurs looked really bad on the day. Nothing seemed to be going right for them at all. So let's take it in phases, and let's start with almost the first kick of the game when Liverpool had the ball in the back of the net, I think before 1 minute, and it was rightly called offside as Mane tried to toe poke it, but that was only the intro to basically what the game was going to be like from there on out. Clearly both teams struggled in the final third, and I think Spurs, besides 10 minutes which they had in the beginning of the game before Gini Wijnaldum's goal, that's about the only spell they had where they looked threatening, where they were using the wide spaces fairly well, but nothing really materialized into a shot on target that was actually where Alisson was required to make some sort of goal-saving save. So I think Spurs throughout the day, Eric Dyer's performance pretty much summed up Spurs. They really battled. Not usually what we expect from Spurs. When we say Spurs, we think slick, good passing, good first touches. None of that was there. Kane, Lucas Moura and Eriksen were feeding off scraps the entire game. Alright, let's focus on why we're actually here, which is Liverpool. Let's talk about some of the numbers and the result as well. And don't get me wrong, guys. Even though I said about the international break and both teams not playing well, a win at Wembley, revenge for last season's result, 5 out of 5. As a Liverpool fan, I am absolutely delighted. I would have it no other way. I don't really care about how the football looked on Saturday. I am just so glad we won, and there were definite positives in the performance to take, which we'll try and break down throughout the rest of this video. So let's talk about the first goal, and Gini Wijnaldum scoring a header in the box yet again. And I say yet again because if memory serves me correctly, Manchester City 2 seasons ago, Wijnaldum scores the header inside the box. In Rome, in the second leg last season, Wijnaldum scores a header inside the box, and now again this Saturday, he scores a header inside the box. So it seems to us, or it seems to me, that Wijnaldum in the box seems to be quite lethal if he can get into the box. Obviously, he spends a lot of his time playing in the midfield and sort of a shuffler role, but clearly he knows his way to goal when he's in the right position. So maybe a hidden weapon that Liverpool need to be trying to expose a little more from set pieces, etc. He knows how to head the ball into the back of the net. Fair enough. Tottenham keeper was not great there, Michel Vorm, but nonetheless, Wijnaldum with a fantastic goal for us. And the game was pretty much all Liverpool. If I look at some of the stats I have here, Liverpool 17 shots to Tottenham's 11, 10 of that 17 on target, whereas Tottenham managed 3 on target, one of them being a goal that somehow squeezed in past Alisson. Possession was dominated by Tottenham, but nothing materialized besides Lucas Moura's shot against the post and Lamela's actual goal. There was no other moment where you felt Tottenham should have scored. Pass accuracy, our pass accuracy was slightly down at 75%, but I think the way Klopp plays, we're never going to see 90-95% unless it's a game where we dominate possession throughout the game as well, where a team sits really deep. Of course, we're not expecting that kind of gameplay from Tottenham. And passes, 356 passes for Liverpool to 549 passes to Spurs. So again, we just used the ball better when we had it, whereas Spurs really couldn't do much in the midfield, and the defenders were quite poor as well. Alright, so our second goal. Mane was superb in that second goal. He did a lot of things wrong on Saturday, but when he got it right, it was superb. If you watch that goal back, he lays the ball off to Robertson and then absolutely just steps into second gear, runs past, I think, Trippier, Robertson with an incredible lofted pass down the ground to Mane to take up in his stride. He may have looked for a pullback to Salah. Instead, he chose to go to the byline. Yes, we got a bit of luck, but of course, Bobby was there on hand to slot home when he needed to. So, although, like I said, Mane didn't do a lot of things well on Saturday, and we'll get into that shortly, he did end up being an assister for the crucial goal on the day. So, a fantastic performance there from him. So if we talk about the ratings throughout the game, let's just go player by player and we'll give it a rating. Based on performance, I think Alisson, if we look at him in goal, he didn't have much to do. Nothing he could do about that goal, really. I think he was fairly well positioned at the near post. It sort of went outside him and then into the far corner. So Alisson, we're giving him a 7 here today. Did what he needed to do. Unfortunately, no clean sheet. We have to knock him a point or two at that, but nothing spectacular, nothing risky. Perfect in the game like that. Alexander-Arnold, he played a little for England. I don't think that was really the reason. I think Liverpool in attack just weren't clicking as well as we expect them to. And as a result, we've given Arnold a 6. He was taken off as well towards the end of the game to protect the lead. He did nothing wrong per se, but nothing really materialized in the attacking sense. And we do know that if you're playing Klopp's 4-3-3 system, a lot of reliance comes from those wingbacks or fullbacks to assist in the attacking sense. So we've given Trent a 6. Not for a bad performance, but for nothing spectacular either. Gomez, we're giving him a 6 as well. He could have cost us a goal if Lucas Moura was slightly more clinical. Otherwise, he was decent, but Spurs were not testing our defense. That's why the scores are going to be slightly low. It's not because the defenders played badly. It's because they just did the basics correctly and we got the right result. There was no spectacular blocks, spectacular tackles. Maybe one from Gomez against I think it was Lamela or Moura, where he came sliding in from the side and got all of the ball. But otherwise, we had no big defensive talking moments. So a 6 for Gomez as well. For Virgil van Dijk, we gave him a 7. No mistakes from him. And basically, Gomez without the one mistake that Gomez made, we're giving him a 7. Not too much talking there. Robertson, obviously he played the full game. We've given him a 7 as well. Defensively, he was fine. Going forward, slightly better than Arnold. But again, nothing materialized too much besides the beautiful pass to Mane. That's why he gets a point over Alexander-Arnold. So with the defensive scores, 7s and 6s, like I said, it's more because we were not tested rather than we didn't play very well in defense. Alright, so in midfield, Keita was a slight disappointment on Saturday. Obviously, we can't expect him to be amazing every single week, but we've given him a 5 for... We expect him to be creating, didn't really contribute to that side of the game, didn't need to defend too much either, so he was taken off and we've given him a 5. Milner gets an 8 for his effort. He's unbelievable. His engine is amazing. Decision making was good. Didn't put a foot wrong throughout the game that we can remember here, or I can remember. No mistakes, good in the challenge, good going forward, creating space, being available for a pass, keeping it simple when it needed to be. Milner gets an 8. Wijnaldum gets a big 9 and our man of the match. He was fantastic in midfield as well. Also kept the game very simple. Didn't try and do too much. Used his body really well to have an extra touch or two on the ball and to eliminate risk when he was under pressure. And of course, he got the goal that basically gave Liverpool a fantastic platform to go on and win the game. So Wijnaldum, man of the match, and a 9. Salah on the right hand side was fairly disappointing. I do also feel for him a bit. I feel there were a few passes that could have come to him that were not played to him at the right time, or they went the other way. So we've given him a 6. Again, not so much his fault. Sometimes he looked a bit selfish with the ball as well. So just didn't come together for Salah. On Saturday, we've given him a 6. Firmino gets an 8. Of course, he scored what was now the crucial goal in the game after Spurs scored right at the death. Excellent positioning, excellent work rate. Pretty much the man you want to have in that middle three all the time, because you know with Firmino around, there's a high possibility you're going to score when there's an attack on the break, or even just us going forward. So Firmino gets an 8 for a fantastic performance. Mane, we struggled with this one, 7 or 8. I think I want to push him to an 8 just because of that second goal. I think he was instrumental in giving Robbo the instruction, as well as then executing a beautiful assist in the end. Yes, we got lucky with Tongan off the bar, etc., but he created that mistake through his effort, as well as he was good in attack, just some of his decision making was poor right at the end. So there was a time when he could have passed to Salah and he chose to go to Keita. There was a time where he swiveled and shot instead of passing to Keita. So moments where he got himself in good positions, he did all the build-up play correctly, and his final execution let him down. So we'll give him an 8 because at the end of the day, he still contributed to us winning that game in a very big way. That wraps up the entire field ratings back to front, entire field, all the ratings back to front. This is where I want to ask you guys to give me your opinion on those ratings and your opinion on the match as well. Do you agree? Do you think we're being too harsh or too lenient on our ratings? But that's where we feel it sits in terms of the performance on Saturday. So of course, that pretty much wraps up this game. There was no major other talking points. There was no bad tackles, no injuries except for Firmino. We know he's going to be okay. Took a bit of a scratch to his eye from Vertonghen, but reports coming out that he's fine. He traveled separately back to Merseyside, but it seems to be that he will be fine for Tuesday's game, hopefully. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're expecting Henderson to start on Tuesday's game. Obviously, we don't rate the substitutes. They came on fairly late, and I don't think they were major contributing factors by the substitutes. Henderson did press the ball a bit well. Matip came on late as well, but no major talking points. So that pretty much wraps up this video, guys. We will be doing, or I will be doing, a pre-match analysis to Liverpool versus PSG in the first game of the Champions League this season. I am so excited about this. It's going to be uploaded shortly after this video, so stay tuned for that one as well, and give us your thoughts there as well. All right, so if you agreed, disagreed, have an opinion on this video, let us know. If you enjoyed it, smash a thumbs up as well. Follow us on Twitter at VFTCopL4, where we always tweet when videos are uploaded. We tweet during the match as well, and you can tweet us back and give us your thoughts and opinions as well. All right, until the next video, that's been A View from the Cop.